So yes, here in Dubai, we are here with Vesa, digital artist, NFT artist. So yeah, Vesa, how are you doing?
Blockchain Dubai in the house. I'm doing very well. It's very warm back home. It's minus temperatures, very cold, not much sunlight. So we moved here with my wife 3 weeks ago, and I couldn't be happier. And this is the first event that I'm coming to after moving here, and already it's been very, very useful in terms of meeting interesting people.
Awesome. So the first question that I would like to ask you is, what's the inspiration behind being an NFT artist?
What's the inspiration?
Behind being an NFT artist.
Well, for me, it started a long, long time ago because my originals are digital files. So my process after jumping from film was that I started body painting on people and photographing them. I started painting and photographing the paintings, and then with Photoshop I put them together. And they look more like maybe traditional paintings because paint as an element has a certain kind of look, but they've been digital original artworks for a long time. So in one way, I've been awaiting for the arrival of NFTs since 2008 because the legacy art world, they were very slow to innovate with a lot of things, but also because you didn't have NFT technology, you couldn't monetize them. So the collectors and the gallerists weren't very interested in the whole process because they wanted the oil original. They wanted the thing to be the one of one, the unique, and I couldn't really provide it for them. And that was a big, big problem for me. So when finally in 2017 I understood what Bitcoin was and what NFTs are going to be, it was full in immediately to go into that space because it solves all my problems. I have 350 digital originals that can now become a market force in a totally different way than it was possible for the first decade of my career. So I'm very fortunate to be in this space, and like I said, I jumped in halfway through 2017, and it's been a wild ride since.
Awesome. So quickly, understanding between the traditional creative space and the blockchain NFT space. So what do you think the major take away from it, like for a newbie or for a professional creative?
Well, I would say that the legacy art world has been slow to innovate, but they have an understanding of how to evaluate art in a more sustainable way. And what I'm hoping that expertise is more and more going to spill into the NFT space. And what the NFT space has been very good at is to gamify, tokenize, energize all of these different kinds of forms of creativity, but what it hasn't been so good at is the evaluation of what is actually valuable as opposed to not, and it's not even gone through its first bear market. So what I'm really hoping to see is much more of the merger of the best of the art world, the legacy art world, and the best of the NFTs to come together to create sustainable value, and then these worlds, because that's just for the collection side of things. But why NFTs are really the future is that the majority of the creatives, the businesses, the museums, where they need to be going is the metaverse. They need to build their digital doubles so that you're not tied to a specific geolocation. You're not tied to being in Dubai. Because even if, let's say, the Museum of the Future builds their digital double, then that means that they're open to the whole of the world 24/7. And they can have ticket sales 24/7 to the whole of the global audience. And it makes even the museum space a completely different dynamic and open space. So those are the reasons why people who are now snarking at NFTs or don't understanding or whatever it is, all you need to know is that much of our lives are digital already, and now we are NFTs. We finally have the technology to make something as rare as the Mona Lisa, even though everyone's seen it, and traditionally it's seen as a JPEG. But now that JPEG you can be the owner of some super famous experience or artwork or drum beat or whatever it is, and provably be the owner, even though maybe hundreds of millions of people have heard it or seen it.
Right.
And that's the real innovation, and that's why people should pay attention.
Right. So coming to the next question, what makes an NFT valuable? Is it the artist? Is it the art?
Well, it's both, really. I mean, if you look at it traditionally, and also hype.
Yes.
There's many things that kind of factor into it. But yeah, it's the and this is a little bit what the legacy art world has been better at, is to evaluate the artist's career, evaluate their true contribution and kind of critical acclaim and things like that. The NFT space hasn't really cared about that too much. It's more like what is the cool, what is hype, what is the quick flip, what is the this kind of thing. And I'm not saying there hasn't been appreciation for great fine art also. It is there, but it's more sort of been taken over by the collectible space for now, because people are just looking on how to make money very fast. Of course, it's like there's so much going on in the world. Many things were destroyed by COVID, so of course people are looking for new ways to make money and kind of make sure that their lives are going well. But for the sustainable growth value of NFTs in the fine art space in particular, it needs that merger of the legacy art world expertise to come together with the innovation of NFTs, and then we can truly have something super special.
Awesome, thank you. And to conclude, one last question. For the community who is stepping new into the NFT world, for the new artists, budding artists, so what are the steps they should follow? Because they just think creating an art, minting it, and then selling it, is it? Or there is some mantra behind it to be a successful artist in NFTs?
I think one of the things is just try and discover what your value contribution to other people is. It's like many artists can often be a little self-centered because it's about their process or about this. No, the better way to go about it is to try and figure out how you're useful and valuable to other people. And of course, you add your own voice to it, your own kind of contribution to the whole thing. But I always try and look at value. What is the value for me? What is the value to the other people? And then if that's the foundational block, then usually it's easier to build on top of that because it's more of a conversation. You want to have a conversation with your collectors. You want to have a conversation with the people that you're building with. Maybe you have some synergy with a metaverse or something like that. You always want to come to the table with something other than this is about me. You want to come to the table with here's the value that I can provide into the conversation, and that usually makes things easier.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the word of advice.
Brother.
Thank you.